Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you. Hello. Welcome to episode 133 of 15 Minutes of Genius. We definitely go over time. Usually it's 25 minutes of genius. We bring on just really great people, entrepreneurs, founders, visionaries. We have someone on that actually I met 2 weeks ago for the first time ever. I met her at Expo West, Natural Products Expo West. It was a bowling alley event. We talked for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm like, she's really awesome, has a great story. Let's bring her on our podcast, and here we are. So before rolling into our guest, we have a sponsor. I wouldn't say a sponsor, but it is powered by Manhattan Beach Studios, Mark and ManhattanBeachStudios.net. He's the guy that's making this all happen. And Claudia's right there as well. Awesome stuff. I think the van is getting more and more full. Next time there'll be 3 people, 4 people. Man, I think you got to get a bigger van, Mark. All right. So, again, make sure to reach out to Mark and ManhattanBeachStudios.net. And he is your guy to make anything happen, video, audio, or if you want your own podcast. All right. So our guest, and I'm going to be very careful to make sure I pronounce everything correctly. Lin Jiang. She is the founder and CEO of Yishi Foods. And she grew up in Qingdao, I think I pronounced that right, China, a beautiful coastal city and the beer capital of China. Think of Tsingtao beer, right? She came to the U.S. for college in 2014, graduated within 2 years. She lived in a library, do not recommend, and started Yishi in 2019 in Chicago when craving a healthier breakfast that was also convenient and functional. Yishi means ritual in Chinese. It is a purpose-driven hot cereal brand inspired by delicious Asian flavors and food as medicine wisdom. Lin, how are you?
Hi, good. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing very good. You have a really inspiring story. Yeah, you came here in 2014, so literally 8 years ago. You did not know English, right, when you first came here?
Very little.
Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't really communicate. So I guess I learned it very fast. Yeah, in 8 years.
Yeah, it definitely it's impressive for sure. And then 5 years into being in the U.S., you started a product company, Yishi Foods. So it's really the story's awesome. But instead of me telling your story, I'll let you tell your story. Tell us more about you came here. Did you know what you wanted to do when you first came here? Like, what was your plan coming to the U.S.? Tell us more about, and why did you come to the U.S.?
So I came here to study. I came here for college, which I thought would give me access to more opportunities. I actually got into a Chinese college before I applied for a US college, and I studied translation in Beijing. And after a semester, I realized that's not something I'm passionate about, but I wasn't sure what I was passionate about. And then I took a trip to New York City and fell in love with New York and the culture here. So I decided to apply for college here. I went to University of New Hampshire, studied finance. I always thought I would end up in the finance-related industries, banks. I ended up in consulting, which is not far away. Um, and I worked on a lot of finance-related cases for Fortune 500 companies. It was a great learning experience. Um, but I still just didn't feel that that job was fulfilling enough. I wanted to create more impact. Wasn't sure what to do, and then I started making oatmeal recipes on the side, and I would bring it to work every day to share with my coworkers. That's oatmeal that's inspired by my Chinese heritage and my mom's cooking, flavors that my coworkers never tried before, and they loved it. So when I moved to Chicago in 2019 for business school and learned about the entrepreneurial resources Chicago has to offer, I made a really bold decision. I want to quit my job, give up the MBA sponsorship, and to give this entrepreneurial idea a try.
Yeah, so basically, you're crazy at that time, right? Like to be an entrepreneur, right? You have to be crazy, and to
Yeah,
give
I knew
up.
I was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, do you have to? It's to here's to the crazy ones, right? That's we're the ones that make it happen, right? The entrepreneurs, right? With that willingness to push further and do the impossible. And so, literally, you had I think you said a scholarship. You were at, I believe, Boston Consulting Group. That's what I believe I read in your profile. One of the top consulting
Yeah.
firms in the world. You had everything going for you, and you're like, I'm going to drop all that, all these opportunities, and create an Asian-inspired cereal, hot cereal, and it's just off to the races. Is that pretty much what happened?
Yep, pretty much. And you can imagine how surprised my parents were.
I can only imagine the conversation. So, okay, but like now, you went into it, you did it. How did you start it? Like, you need to have money, you need to have some resources. Like, it seems like you're really good at just like learning as you go, right? Like you pick things up, you learn as you go, and you adapt. How was the process of becoming an entrepreneur and like, getting the resources needed to start your business?
Great question. I had to learn everything about CPG and entrepreneurship. I had no idea how everything worked. Um, So to start, I didn't have any financial resources or, didn't know anyone in the CPG industry, but I thought I got to get the products right first. So I started working on the recipes in my kitchen and I wanted to get people's feedback on how my products tasted, the sweetness, the texture, and I wanted people's feedback about packaging design. So I created a lot of samples and I would call yoga studios, local grocery stores, farmers market in Chicago to get a table to demo. So in 2019, I did over 50 tabling events and demos all over Chicago. I would go to a yoga studio at 5 a.m. To provide the morning students free breakfast in exchange for feedback. So I really improved the recipes and developed some really tasty oatmeal in the first year. Um, then in the meantime, also got a lot of traction through word of mouth. So I was able to sell products online very organically, um, and I always thought the best place to sell oatmeal is grocery stores, where pantry item most people still buy oatmeal in stores. So I called Whole Foods, local Whole Foods stores, and well, I was very lucky to eventually get connected with local buyers and find about the local forager program. But the launching stores need packaging, so I did a Kickstarter campaign and successfully raised $10,000,
Mm,
from pre-orders, which
nice.
helped me buy my first batch of packaging. Thank you. Design was done by me and my friend, so we're still, as frugal as we could be
Hmm.
to get the products out there. Um, Luckily, products did very well in local Whole Food stores and got more traction. And I also did a business plan competition at University of Chicago. After the competition, I was connected with a lot of investors and people that's very active in the startup world. And just through networking, I was able to get interest for my first angel round of fundraising and had a first close at 650,000,
Mm,
which enabled me
congratulations.
to
Wow.
thank you, which enabled me to hire a professional branding agency, and they came up with the name Yishi, working with me, of course, and we rebranded, did the packaging professionally. And from there, I was able to hire a couple members of our core team right now to help me get the products, on the market.
Yeah, it's a great story. So, and the fact that from nothing, right, moving to this country 8 years ago, learning the language, leaving your very successful, career at Boston Consulting Group, in 2019, then forming this company 3 years ago, and then raising this level of money, and then executing on it and getting into Whole Foods, that's huge. Like that is such a huge accomplishment in and of itself that very few people could ever do, especially moving from another country and not knowing the language. So I'm really,
Thank you.
I'm beyond impressed, beyond impressed. So with the product, where does this product go? These are for the LinkedIn nerds that are like, what? Tell me about the product. Where does it go? What does the packaging look like? All that kind of stuff. They're going to want to know more. And we also got to get you to sponsor Friday Vibes, our other podcast we do with Wade Yenny. So we'd love for you to sponsor that on a totally different podcast, and we can give away your product. But tell us, that was a plug. Tell us about the product. Where is it merchandised? What does the packaging look like? Maybe Mark can pull something up. But I'm curious to know more about the product itself and what kind of Asian influential ingredients you're using.
Yeah, sure. I have products in another room. If yeah, you can put a picture, that'd be great. But I'll do my best to describe them. So our products are oatmeal that's inspired by Asian dessert flavors. We have black sesame oatmeal, a taro bubble tea flavored oatmeal,
Mm,
matcha latte flavored, yeah, a red bean flavor that tastes like Japanese red bean pastry.
mm-hmm.
So these are dessert tasting, but very healthy oatmeal. So there's no added sugar, and they are organic, gluten free, and packed with protein and fiber. And every products is packed with. You can see in the little bubble, a lot of lines of superfood ingredients. So these are tasty and functional and very healthy. And we have little cups as well. That single serving is great for on the go, and it's also great for people that are not familiar with the flavors to try these new flavors. So our products in stores are located in the oatmeal aisle, right next to Bob's Red Mill,
Mm-hmm.
Quaker, all the
Yep.
big oatmeal brands.
All the usual
Um,
suspects. Yep. Yep.
yep. Um, but if you look at the aisle, you will notice we are the innovation really. Pretty much the only innovation in a lot of oatmeal aisles. So there's, in the oatmeal market, there's bland oatmeal that's plain, no flavor, and you will need to add a lot of things to cook it. And there's flavored instant oatmeal that's packed with sugar, and these oatmeal usually only have three, four flavors. There's ample cinnamon, maple brown sugar, some sort of berries and cream. So oatmeal category is known to be boring, and all the flavored ones are sugary. And when I worked at BCG, I was eating a lot of oatmeal, either when I was traveling or from our office pantry or any client's office's pantries. So I was frustrated by how boring oatmeal was, and I remembered the type of cereal, hot cereal my mom used to make for me when I was a child in China, especially black sesame cereal. That was my favorite food when I was a kid. My mom used a combination of walnut, almond, black sesame, black bean, all kinds of seasoned nuts to make it really nutty, toasty. It was just so good. So I thought, well, let me combine the best of the East, those ingredients, and oats and hemp seeds and flax seeds, ingredients that are local and also contain a lot of protein and fiber together to make a new type of oatmeal that satisfies my craving and also bring me the nutrition that I wanted.
It,
So yeah,
okay.
that's the product. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, I'm just like smiling through this entire interview because it's just like, yeah, you make people smile. Like I can tell, when you're in a room with people explaining the product, the story behind like your mom making oatmeal for you with all these really great ingredients. And it's an awesome, awesome story and like such a likable story. So I see you really going far with this, not only because of you and your personality and your story, but also because of the product. So is there anyone else doing this? Is anyone else doing Asian inspired oatmeal at all?
Surprisingly, nobody else is doing it.
I'm
Actually,
really
not
I'm
this
I'm really
surprising.
shocked. I'm shocked no one else has thought of
Yeah,
this
right.
idea, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we're lucky. Yeah, the first one.
Got it. Got it. Okay, really cool. There's another question I had, but I forgot, so I guess that's not so genius. But yeah, and as far as like marketing this and getting this out there, I remember now my idea. So, you know the brand Sanzo, right? The sparkling water with like
Yes,
Asian inspired ingredients like lychee and I can't even remember.
huge
There's
fan.
all these different ingredients. Asian inspired sparkling water. They put in different ingredients. The owner and founder Sandra Rocco, grew up in the Southeast Asia, and brought that here, that flavor and style and culture. Do you see an outlet where you can get the Asian community really behind this? Because I think that could be a key thing, right? Is getting people from all these different areas in the country that are Asian to go into the stores and buy this because it reminds them of home. Is that something that is in your marketing plan?
Yes, that's something that is in our marketing plan. We already noticed. So we found Asian American customers, to be very passionate about the flavors. When they see Terra bubble tea oatmeal, they love it. They buy it immediately and they share it on social media with their friends. They buy it as gifts to give it to their family. Um, so this Asian American audience is really I think, our early stage advocates, and we love them. So we are very engaged talking to this group of customers online. We're also in a lot of mass market stores. So what I noticed, besides the Asian American customers, is that just mainstream, average, everyday American customers who are not familiar with the flavors are also intrigued by these flavors. They go to the oatmeal aisle, see their usual apple cinnamon and maple brown sugar oatmeal, and then they see, oh, a Terra bubble tea oatmeal. Um, Most people have heard of bubble tea. So for a cup of only $2.99, they're willing to give it a try, and they fall in love with the flavor and also the nutrition. So this is another like big group of customers that I think we are just faced with by being in mainstream grocery stores.
So, which stores are you in right now besides Whole Foods?
So we are in. So we're gonna roll out this Whole Foods nationwide in August.
Congratulations.
Right
That's
now,
amazing. It's great.
thank
Wow.
you. Well, it's yeah crazy how a code call led to national rollout.
Hmm.
And we're also in. So we're based in Chicago. Have a lot of stores here. We're in all of the Meyer stores in Chicago, in the Midwest. Peace Fresh Market, Go Grocer, and on the East Coast, we are in all of the Wegmans stores. And then we have a lot of stores, Central Market in Texas. On the West Coast, we have Bristol Farms, Gilson's, and also we're in a lot of Asian stores like 99 Ranch, which is yeah, a go-to store for a lot of Asian American customers.
That's great. Yeah, it's congratulations on just the amount of expansion you've done in literally 3 years. That's just insane from concept to launch to where you're at now, being in, I think well over with the Whole Foods, well over 1,000 stores. Nothing short of an amazing accomplishment. Are you with We yet?
Yes, we're on We, and we cleared out 8 pallets of product in a couple months for us. It's a great platform, and they definitely have great velocity.
If you don't know what We is, so my wife, she's Chinese as well, and so she orders from We all the time. It's something that I just don't understand, right? Because I'm not Chinese, I'm not Asian, I don't know the culture. I know the culture, but obviously I never lived it, right? And Asians and now Americans as well, but it started with really Asians being obsessed with We, which is a distributor that delivers straight to your door of Asian inspired foods and beverages and condiments and ingredients. And people swear by them. Like they will order from they don't even order from Amazon anymore. They order only from We. So it's really great that you're on there and you're seeing success. That's awesome.
Thank you. I
Yeah,
think this is one of the trends. So
for
I feel
sure.
the whole America, the whole country is getting more and more interested in global inspired flavors, and global inspired flavors, including Asian flavors and Asian culture elements, are getting included in the mainstream culture. So I'm actually not surprised that we is doing well, and all of the Asian inspired brands like Sanzo and us are getting traction.
Absolutely. I think it's with anything, with any kind of product, and for those that are, watching or listening, is that, it's really about timing. You can have a great product, you can have great people, you can have great placement, but the timing has to be right. And I think, this country is really mobilized to buy more and more Asian inspired foods and ingredients more than ever today. And also the support structure, right, for Asian Americans is also becoming stronger and stronger as well. So you're at the
Right.
right place at the right time with this product, and I really applaud you for going with your gut, literally, and releasing a product that you just loved as a child, and you're now bringing it to the masses. It must feel really good to do that.
Yeah, it felt really good, and I also felt really lucky. Like you said, timing is so important.
Yep. Got to
Yeah,
get a little lucky. Got to get like no matter how hard you work, but the way I would look at it, the harder you work, the luckier you get, right? I think that is huge case in point. All right. So
yeah,
our
absolutely.
next segment is called Rapid Fire Questions. Rapid Fire Questions. All right. So are you familiar with this? Have you watched any of our other episodes and seen these? Okay.
Yes, yeah,
So you,
I watched a bunch. So fun.
yeah. So you prepared. So here we go. The questions are
Cool.
newer. It's only been around for probably 5 or 10 episodes. So, but you know the drill. We're going to go through all the different questions. You can basically just answer as quickly as possible. There's about, I think, 15 questions. Get it? 15 minutes of genius, 15 questions. So here we go. First question. For music, which decade is the best? The 70s, 80s, or 90s?
90s. I was born
We're,
in the 90s.
yep, there you go. I love the 90s. I think 80s or 90s are my favorite. 70s, it's you got to be on acid or something to like the 70s. All right, not to offend all the people that like the 70s music. What do you do? What do you do for exercise?
Rowing machine. I love the rowing machine.
Right on. So the one like the actual the machine. Okay. Do you actually do rowing like in an ocean or only just yeah?
Yeah, like rowing in the ocean, in the water. Have you watched? You must have seen American Psycho, right? Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's what
have.
he
Yeah,
likes.
that's a good movie. I like that. That leads me to our next question. Movie you can watch an unlimited amount of times.
Uh, Not American Psycho. But, probably Love Actually. That's my
Yeah,
favorite movie.
there'd be something really wrong if you're like, I can watch that a million times. Christian Bale putting an axe into Jared, Jared Leto. All right,
That'd be
chocolate. That was a great scene. That was a. Do you know Huey Lewis and the News? They're the greatest band, and he's like dancing with like an axe in his hand. For those that have not seen
right.
American Psycho, it's freaking awesome. Make sure to watch that. Christian Bale. All right, chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla,
Favorite country to
100%.
favorite country to travel to?
Spain.
Favorite Star Wars character?
I've never seen Star Wars, so I would say the character I remember that's looks like a white and black robot. That's the only. I don't
Okay,
know.
you're
Is
you're
that a character?
R2D2, that guy.
Probably.
Okay, there's like a bunch of
Um,
different droids and robots, so it could be like there's like 1,000 of them.
One of them. Yeah, one
Yeah,
of them.
one of those guys. One of those guys. All right, you've narrowed it down
I
to
lived in the library, so
yeah, they're
yeah.
cute, right? They have personality. So what is your spirit animal?
Um, I would say a rooster.
A rooster. Okay, up early, up at dawn, and you got to have that
Yeah,
loud voice to get people's attention, right? Like the so.
yeah, it's really similar to my voice.
Yeah.
And I was born in the rooster year, so
Oh,
I
that's right.
always like
Yeah, that's
rooster.
right. The year of the rooster. Cool. That's right.
Yeah,
I didn't make that connection. All right. So, do you like to drive an SUV, a coupe, or a truck?
SUV for sure.
For food, salty or sweet?
Both.
Both.
I need to alternate. Yeah, salty and
That's kind
sweet.
of like the oatmeal, right? It has the sweetness and the saltiness, right? Both of those together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very sweet.
Yeah. Favorite day of the week and why?
I would say Friday because it's just the end of the week. It's the a night that when I had a normal job, I would always look forward to. But now every day is kind of the same. But Friday still feels special.
Yeah, I agree. I like Friday. Uber or Lyft?
Uber, um,
Okay,
because I like my rating. Proud.
got it. Makes sense. All right, so greatest of all time. I don't know if you're in the sports or not, but you are from Chicago, so I think I know what the answer is. But greatest NBA player of all time: LeBron James, Michael Jordan, or Kobe Bryant?
Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
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 no
Chicago,
brainer.
Michael Jordan. You got to go with Jordan. If you did not go with Jordan, you would get a lot of probably hate messages on LinkedIn. Like, you're from Chicago. Come on, you got to like Jordan. You got to vote for him. All right. Next one. Terminator 1 or Terminator, I don't know if you've seen this movie. I guess you've seen American Psycho. You've probably seen these. Terminator 1 or Terminator 2. Which one did you like better?
I have not seen either. I watched these questions, but I didn't find the time to watch these movies. So I would say, I don't know. I will watch them.
Yep, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Sometimes we got to say we don't know. Start with Terminator 2. I think it's just a great movie. All right. Last
You can probably have alternative question with some movies from different countries. So just in case the founder of the interview is from a different country.
Yeah, I got to think of like two movies that you've definitely seen. Okay, what do you like better? Crazy Rich Asians, you've seen that one, or
Um,
Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. I'm making it up.
I would say Crazy Rich Asians because I love
Yeah,
a romance movie.
exactly. Got to have romance. Got to have that. All right. So, favorite food or drink if you're stuck on a deserted island? You cannot say Genius Juice, and you cannot say Yishi.
Tiramisu,
Tiramisu. All right.
breakfast to dessert, yeah, all day.
There's got to be something on that island to heat up, some tiramisu or something. Actually, no, I'm thinking of miso soup. Tiramisu is the dessert. All right, not so genius. That is rapid fire questions with Lin Jiang with Yishi Foods. All right, so amazing story. If people want to buy your product, find your products, you mentioned the retailers, but they can also, I assume, buy it online. So, what is your website?
Yeah, so you can also find our products on yishifoods.com. Yishi is Yishi, foods.com. Yeah, and all the retailers I've mentioned.
Sweet. And then, are you actually going to be raising more capital soon? Because this is a good opportunity, right? I think you have a great story, you have traction. Are you going in for a seed round or a Series A, or what's your plan for capital raising?
So after the 650 I shared earlier, we actually raised more. So we don't have any fundraising plans this year, but next year we could be looking at Series A.
Okay, great. All right, so you are good. You have the capital you need to grow until a Series A. So any investors out there, you got to wait. Sorry. All right. So
It's going to
Lynn,
be worth the wait.
what's up?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
going to be worth the wait.
it's going to be worth the wait. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. All right. So, Lynn, thank you for being on our show. It was awesome. Loved hearing your story, and best of luck. Keep crushing it out there and selling a lot of oatmeal.
Thank you. Thank you. Had a lot of fun. Great chatting with you. Um, yeah, had a great time.
All
Thanks
right.
for having
Thanks.
me.
You got it. Have a wonderful night. All right. And thanks for staying up late also at Chicago. All right. So that is 15 Minutes of Genius, episode 133. Big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark Enneman, HighBeatStudios.net for all your editing desires. Make sure to reach out to him. There's podcasts that are getting like literally millions of views right now on Apple Podcasts that he is doing besides just 15 minutes of genius. So he is really good at what he does. Get in the studio, do a podcast. You can create your own podcast like tomorrow. How cool is that with his ability? So again, thank you for joining us, episode 133. Make sure to check us out on Apple Podcast and also on Spotify. Make sure to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcast. And I think that's it. So what is that? One last thing. genius robot has to say, stay genius. Bye, friends. Good.
Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.